I'm on.
Okay, so we're the only thing between you and your sandwich. So we'll either be interesting or fast or both. I'm Ross Ramsey. I'm the executive editor and co-founder of the Texas Tribune. It's a nonprofit online news organization in Austin. I would encourage you to look at it. We cover a lot of stuff like this. You know David, you know Max. James Quintero is the director of the Center for Local Governance at the Texas Public Policy Foundation, one of America's premier conservative state-based think tanks. He's been with the foundation since March 2008, and during his time there, his work is centered on the budget, spending, debt, taxes, transparency, and pensions. He has a hard time finding people to talk to at cocktail parties, I bet. So let's just start with what you guys perceive the problem is, but I'll start, that's where my questions are going to start. That's your sort of warning. But before we get to that, we'll just let everybody talk for a couple of minutes. Max, you want to start this off?
Okay, I'll start off. I think in this whole debate against DB versus DC is one of the things, there's a couple of things that really I think are downplayed. And one of them is the value of DB plans. DB plans has a tremendous value to public employees. And public employees, basically, I see it as the stable, the ground floor for life in general. It's your police, it's your fire, it's roads, it's parks, it's how we live. And it's those individuals that do the work. I mean, they do the things that allow the buildings to come up, the enterprises to develop. And you can't treat those people in a short way. And a DB plan is part of their compensation. And that has a value. It has a big value. And the other thing is DB plans work. They work. There's studies out there that has shown how they work. And yes, there are some examples of some DB plans that have not worked, but generally speaking, overall, they work. And if you look at the structure of them, and if you structure them properly, they do work and they do have a big value to them. The other part is, if you look at a DC, and there's enough studies that's been done about DC plans, even if you combine a deferred comp with Social Security, you will not get enough money to retire on. Not today, not in the future. And there's a Deloitte study that shows that, and there's other studies that shows that. And the other argument is, this is not about public versus private. This should be about a retirement solution for everyone. If it's just the public employees, then we still have a big problem out there. We have to consider everybody, all Americans that are out there working. And lastly, there's a big economic impact and a benefit, and particularly to, I would say, to every state, but we looked at it in the state of Texas as an economic benefit that comes from defined benefit plans. When these people retire, they spend the money, and they spend the money in Texas, and a vast, overwhelming majority of them continue to live in Texas. And they buy boats, and they buy retirement places. And there is the pyramid study has showed that, and we paid the study, supplemented the study with NERS, and they've showed that there's an economic benefit to it. And if you just have a DC and Social Security, you won't make it. You will barely have enough money to pay the bills, and that's not including health care. And you're definitely not going to have any money to go out and spend at a restaurant or any type of entertainment. And so I just want to lay those points out just right from the beginning.
James.
Thank you, Ross. And let me first say thank you to y'all for inviting me here. I really appreciate the opportunity. I'm going to be playing the role of villain today. So I'm a father of four, though, so I'm used to being the bad guy. But what I want to do today is present you with a set of facts, and hopefully you can look past me as an individual or my organization as a free market organization, and look to the facts and make your own objective decision. Now, as Ross alluded to, I'm a numbers guy. I look at data all day long, and I am a terrible cocktail party member. So, but what the data suggests to me is that we're moving in the wrong direction. And we'll get to the data here shortly. But this presents a challenge not only for taxpayers, but also for retirees. This affects both, I think, equally. And so what we're trying to do is put forward solutions to not only protect taxpayers, but also future beneficiaries. Now, our proposal to move from a defined benefit system to a defined contribution model is predicated on the idea that you leave existing beneficiaries alone. Nobody in this room would be affected. This is only an application to new members. Now, there's been some interesting things said here. I guess we'll get to all that, but one of the things that I thought was particularly interesting is this idea of economic development and its role in state and local governance. I don't believe it. I'll actually side with David on this matter. I don't believe government should be in the business of picking winners and losers, and those monies could probably be spent in better ways. Now, whether that's to perpetuate a system which I feel is broken, well, that's another matter. But no, I'm on board with the idea of challenging economic development in Texas and redirecting those funds in a better fashion. So